Good afternoon guys, I hope you're all keeping well and enjoying the Easter break. Today's video I want to try and keep short, sweet and to the point on an installation. So today what we are doing is installing HSD Monopros to the 33. The front's mega straightforward. I've already actually done them off camera, poor YouTubing, should have filmed it, but we'll quickly go over them at the end, but they are really easy to do. The rears however are a different story. You've got to lose the rear bench, the rear back seat, get the parcel shelf out just to be able to access the strut tops of the coilovers to drop them out. So that's probably more difficult than the actual undoing and swapping around of your suspension. So we'll quickly go over how to take the seats out if you don't know already. A trick for the parcel shelf, because those little tabs where I'm just pointing to are an absolute nightmare, and I can't believe it's that difficult to get a parcel shelf out of the car. But we did a little trick to my parcel shelf the first time round, so it goes in a lot easier in and out. I can't remember, I may have had to take the sort of trim, the pillar trim out the first time because it was such like I say, such a faff. It was more complex to try and remove a blinking parcel shelf than it was to fit coilovers. But let's wrap up this intro. I'll get the camera turned around, show you how to get the seats out, the parcel shelf, the little trick to do what to do to your parcel shelf going forward so it's easy to pull out the next time, and then we'll do the rears first, show you how to undo them, put them back in, and then we'll just go over the fronts. But like I said, the fronts are really easy. If you can do the rears, you'll be able to do the fronts. So stay tuned guys, hope you enjoy the video and let's get to it. Right then everybody, so what you want to do, obviously when you're doing your rear coilovers, is you've got to lose your seat. So the actual bench itself feeds your seat belt through the slots in the seats, and then the bottom of the seat is held on with a bolt here, same just down here. Obviously a little tip is to put them back in once you took your seat out so you don't lose them like I did the first time round. And then your seat is also clipped in here and here. So once you've undone your bolts, the trick we use, long screwdriver, slide it under your seat here and then just pop it up, and then that will pop your seat out in both of those places. And then that's all you've got to do for your bench bit. That will come out. Then your rear bit is, I'm just double checking, I'm pretty sure, yeah, pretty sure it just hooks onto here on these 3 hooks. So you see, if you're lifting your seat off, you want to lift it sort of up, out, and then it will come out that way. Reverse if you're putting it back on, but I'm pretty sure it's just held on by those clips. So once you go to put it back on, lift it up, hook it down, make sure they do sit in all 3 of them, and then that will sit down here. Then the bench will tuck up against it, and obviously bolting those places and clipping these places like I said. That's nice and straightforward. Then the parcel shelf, which is an absolute ball ache to do. So these 9 little tabs, that side and that side, the parcel shelf sits past here and sort of tucks in, so it's difficult to say. And obviously then you've got some clipping points, one there, I think that one there, and these here. So what you want to try and do is pop your parcel shelf in the center without obviously splitting it, and then if you can, try and bend the ends here and then sort of push them away from you to get them to slide out here. It's an absolute pain, and I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty sure I had to remove these the first time to get a bit more wiggle room without breaking it. If you're not concerned about your parcel shelf or breaking it, then you'll be a bit more forceful. But I'll show you the trick what I did to my parcel shelf to make it go in a lot easier. But once you've popped your parcel shelf out, which I'm pretty sure is just clips, and then obviously then those there to get out, you'll be left with this. And then your coilover tops. So as you can see, we've got this side in, this side is empty, which will show you how to install that one. But then this will expose this, and then what you want to get is socket set. It is a 12mm deep socket, because obviously you've got the thread, and then put your sockets on there, undo those two, and then that's all you need to do from the top, and then you've just got to get underneath the car and do a single bolt to drop your coilover out, which we'll get out the car in a minute and show you. And also for ease, you've got these, so these sit in here and then in there, and you've got one which is the other side's just here, and that also bolts in there and in there, so it's easier to try. Well, that one you can remove, which are these bolts. I can't remember the size. I think there might be a 10mm, but if you remove this side and then remove the bracket, it's a lot easier to get a socket on. And then you've got a lot of your loom plugged in here, I've just loosened it and then been able to move it to one side, and that's enough to remove that side. Right, I am baking in this car, so let's get outside. I'll show you the parcel shelf and then how we drop and install the rears, and then once you've done that, straight onto the fronts, and then we can wrap up the video there, and hopefully it helps somebody. Right guys, so this is the parcel shelf as mentioned. As you can see, only one clip decided to come out of the parcel shelf. Must have lost a temper, but there should be the other clips you probably saw in the footage before, still in the back of the car. For the trick, like those annoying tabs, what I did was got a little saw and cut this bit out. Now, when the parcel shelf's the other way around, and I'll show you at the end, once this goes back in place, you can't actually see where I've cut it, but it makes removing the parcel shelf out a lot more easier. So definitely food for thought if you're doing it, maybe to do the same. Like I say, you can't see where it's cut once it sits back in place, and it's just a million times easier to get in and out than faffing. But let's get to the back of the car. Right guys, so this is the back of the car, and it's just this bolt here, which is 17, that you need to undo. It's 17mm bolt and washer, but undo that, and then once that's undone, and if you've undone the top that you've just seen, then the whole lot will drop out and then feed it back on itself out through the arch, and then that's it out. And then all you need to do is, obviously when you're setting up your coilovers and you've adjusted to the right that height you want to go to, is feed it back in, drop it down, and then bolt it back up in place. So you probably will need somebody to hold the bottom for you while you tighten the top up, and then you need to come up with some contraption like we have, which is a ramp with a small trolley jack on, to be able to then pump your hub up level with your coilover to slot back on and then bolt back up in place. But that's pretty much it. It's nice and easy. It's more the prep, like I said, inside that's a faff. And then if you see from the other side, that's it undone. So you've got that bolt, which we're gonna put the new one on and slide on place, and then bolt in like we've done this side. And then once we've done this and drop the back, fingers crossed, first time lucky, it sits how we want it to. But let's get to it guys. Right guys, so this is the old rear setup which we took out, which has served me well. But like I say, the HSD Monopros do look very nice and new compared to my eBay second-hand ones. But like I say, they've served me well and they go into a good cause. So what we've done with the new ones is the car sat a little bit higher than I liked on the old ones. So with these, we wound these completely off, wound them all the way up so the thread is sitting at the bottom, and then adjusted down to 3 full turns lower, and this is how we're sitting. So we are a lot shorter than this, but we've got a lot of room. If you don't know much about the build, the car has got GTR over fenders on, and we cut all the inner arch out, so we've got lots of clearance, which is why I've gone for a slightly lower setup than the previous coilovers. So obviously we've adjusted that way, use the spanners to tighten up. Now that one's ready to go in. So let's get it to the car and bolt it in. No. Right guys, so I've got my dad's gonna feed in the coilover and give us a demonstration, and then we'll go inside the car and bolt up first. So like I say, drops in like that. And then feed it up to where it needs bolting in. Once it's bolted in loosely at the top, then what you'll need to do is jack this bit up like we did with our makeshift setup over there, and then jack it up so you can get this bit to sit in the bottom of your coilover, and then re-tighten up and then finish tightening up the top of your bolts. So let's jump in the car now. So back in the car, you'll have to obviously twist and turn this slightly, which you can probably see. So my dad's trying to adjust it. Left a bit. My left? My left, so you're right. So that way? Yep, there we go. So there you go guys, that's in. Then quickly, while your person's holding it down below, just get these on loosely. Yeah, they're done, Dad. So then they'll sit there for the meantime, and then you can get your whatever setup you're using, small trolley jack, big trolley jack, and then you'll want to jack up the bottom to get the coilover in, which we'll jump to back now. Right guys, so we're doing this setup, but our big jack's actually holding the car up with the axle stands as like a secondary safety. So we're just having to try and do a makeshift setup, but like I say, I'm going to get that jack under there, and then we're going to jack it up and then feed the bottom of the coilover and then bolt it back in place. I just want to come to you, yeah, that I do. Done. Yep. That should hopefully be. Maybe one more. And there you go guys, that'll slot on. And then your bolt and washer are these here. So that feeds back through. And I don't know if I said, but it's a 17 mil for the bottom. And then the 12 deep socket for your 2 on the top. So we're going to bolt this up, get it all tight, get back in the car, finish tightening up those, and then that's your rears done then. Just reassembling your wheels and then lowering your car and keeping your fingers crossed it's how you've expected it. If it isn't, then you have to repeat the process. But I'll end this bit here, clip here, and then we'll jump to it being all bolted up and lowering the car down. Right guys, and that's that siding all fully bolted up and tight, and the same on the bottom. So let's get the wheels on and then get the car lowered and keep our fingers crossed. I've not gone too low because the one wheel, let's show you actually, the one wheel is looking rather low. Actually, we'll get the wheel on. You don't need me to show us, put a wheel on. I'm gonna get the wheel back on the car, bolted up, and then drop the back of the car and let's see. Right guys, just before we finish putting the back seats in and everything, I don't know how this video is going to get laid out, so whether you've actually seen the car on the ground yet and the issues we had. It didn't go right first time, tried to lower it on the jack, and the car got stuck on the jack, so we had to come back up again, readjust, reset, and then put the car back down. It sits lovely. So if you've not seen that footage and the rolling footage of the car, then that's up and coming. But I just wanted to quickly jump in even. So I've also got some HSD click adjusters. BC also do these, but I just wanted to point out quickly what they're for. So some cars probably are quite easy to adjust on the back. If you've got an R33 or something similar where you've got to take, as you can see, your back seats, your parcel shelf out, these aren't a bad shelf, so they bolt into the top of your dampening adjuster and then are obviously extended. These are, I believe, 25cm click adjusters. You can get 15cm click adjusters, but what I plan on doing is feeding them round, and then if you've seen earlier in the video where we cut out those like bits for this clip over here, I'm hoping there's enough space when I slot the parcel shelf back in. Now we've done that cutout, that it will sit around the click adjuster like that, and then you'll be able to adjust. So it saves you having to rip out your back seats and everything, your parcel shelf, just to adjust your dampening settings on the rear. So just something food for thought if you do plan on having HSDs or BCs and it's a difficult access for the rear of the car, then it might be something to consider. But anyway guys, I'm not going to show you how to put these seats back in because you've seen us uninstall, so it's literally reverse. Apart from, I don't know if I forgot, the bottom of the back bench, there is 2 bolts that go in here. But that's probably enough of me talking. There's probably a quick clip of me showing you how to dismantle the front coilovers and swapping them around, and then just some rolling shots. So you'll probably see that coming up next. But yeah, click adjusters, something to think about. It's a quick explanation of the fronts. So you've got 2 nuts here, 12 or 14 I think they are, to undo from the top. And then I won't be able to show you because obviously the car's back on the ground now, but there's just a single nut which I believe is going to be a 17, as the rears were a 17. Undo that and then the coilover will just drop straight out. As easy as that to do. But now what we'll do is we'll get a shot of the side of the car, see what you think, and I've also got a rolling shot that I'll put in the end of this video. So that's coming up next. But thanks for watching another video guys, stay safe and I'll see you in the next one.